So here we are, we're on my second speech. It's an informational persuasion speech. And I decided to do the educational system. When you think educational system, you might think about if you're going to be successful or not. A lot of students who go in, if they're from a low socioeconomical standpoint, they don't necessarily do well. My thing is that if you want to do well, you have to work very hard, and sometimes you have to push the administration depending on where you're going to school at. Sometimes if you're comfortable and well off, you have a better chance at getting a better education because the money support that goes there. A lot of teachers tend to pass children so that they don't have to deal with that child. Sometimes the problematic child, a child that has a different learning ability, they might have a learning disability that the teacher doesn't want to deal with, or they're juvenile and they have a lot of past crimes and they misbehave. I guess with the passing the students on to another teacher, it seems to work until they get to a certain age and then they feel that they can drop out. Personally, I went in as a freshman with 2,000 students attending, and by the time I graduated, I only graduated with 48 seniors. If we did things a little different, I would like to think that a lot of more students would graduate. A lot of students don't tend to think that their educational is important until they get to college and they realize that those early years and their high school career was significant. Sometimes we miss what we want to also do is if you have a child and things aren't working out, you need to go straight to the source and weed out the issues. And if no one helps you, then you need to go on until you find someone that will help you. As in the community, we need to fix our schools, make them better. For fewer children will drop out and graduating classes will go on to get a college degree. I think we really need to break a student's education career. What really makes or breaks it is not just the student and the parents alone, but the teachers. A lot of instructors, because I'm not instructors. I'm not going to use the word teachers because some of them are teachers that don't need to be. I'm sure every one of you has had one of those. It wasn't about making sure that each student learned a lesson if this is a lesson. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't get it, too bad. However, there's a very, very small handful of teachers that really go above and beyond their calling as a teacher. They adjust to their students, they find their teaching methods, and they adjust them to each student so that they may succeed in their class, not just on an honor level or college prep level, but if they're learning at a slower rate than others, they still get it. I believe if you're not doing your job and if you're not qualified or you're endangering the life of a student, you should be fired. A lot of the teachers feel as a safety net when they get tenure that they have no reason to be fired. You can't stand behind a committee that doesn't properly add in what they are preaching. The teacher advisory board stands behind teachers of not getting fired. Some of the teachers are being investigated for sexual crimes, not teaching, just not overall caring about their students, and they don't feel they should be fired. If you're not doing your job and you're not teaching, then you shouldn't be a teacher. And methods, really, you need to, as a teacher, you need to come up with methods and expectations done in your classroom so they meet each student's needs. If a method is not working, try another one. What's so disheartening is hearing negative comments and disapproval on everything. If you tell a child that they're nothing, that they're not going to get anywhere, they'll start to believe it, and then they will live up to that stigma that they're not going to go anywhere. And why put in the work when this teacher told me that I'm never going to get a college degree, and you're right. I'm going to prove you right and do exactly what you say. One of the things that I think discourages students is standardized testing. We spend a great deal preparing for these tests. However, it's not about if we know the material or not. It's about how do we take these tests. And I did very well in high school. I did very well in any educational project, class, assignment. But when I took my standardized testing, it was low. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm unintelligent. That just means that the material that was covered wasn't taught correctly, and that most of the time we're just teaching our students to how to answer questions. A lot of state tests are given when they're giving the result to the student. They feel like they didn't do anything, and they feel like they didn't live up to what they wanted to or their parents. If you're going to test someone, test them on what their teachers taught them. Thus, teachers need to speak to someone in higher power to change this. Individuals in upper management, such as principals and school board, need to they seem like they're trying to make better of a bad situation. However, they're not trying hard enough. I know it's really hard to change something, but if you really want to change it, you can. As a dean or assistant principal, you have to enroll expectations in students to follow and indulge a zero tolerance policy. A way you can see if these rules and expectations are changing behavior is to test them in ways that you will see whether it's working or not. Seems to me that what goes on outside of the classroom is not as big of a deal as what goes on in the classroom. The fight starts inside of the classroom. Selection of teachers that are qualified, choosing the right method of grouping, and putting into play intrinsics or motivations to each student in their own unique way that they may benefit from it. One way to help is to stand up for your right and your rights inside your classroom as a teacher. You as a teacher know your students more than anyone. You spend a lot of one-on-one time. You can get involved in making and passing public laws. When it comes to your school, public laws govern how students are going to be treated, how they're expected, and how they average. Getting involved with your school board to voice your opinion and help make changes to your school policy, after school programs, that will help turn a student into a successful person. Anyone can be a hero. You just got to put a little work and elbow grease into it. Everyone is looking for a Superman, but I believe the real heroes are teachers. Learning is the most important thing that we can do. We can give our students and our children. Personally, if I was a parent, I would encourage at-home studying with my child. I would encourage my child to be in after-school programs, to be involved with band, and ask their teachers questions if they don't know it. I would encourage parents to let their children know that yes, they're trying, and if they have a learning disability, that's not going to stop them, that you can make it. And students would, I would want students to be given extra school hours to help with their issues or whatever they need. It's hard to say, but I would really fight for students. If I was a teacher, I would really want my students learning. If they're not learning, then I would slow down the curriculum until they understand the material. Furthermore, a teacher is not just a prophet or a Stone Age man, just a mortal with potentials of being Superman. Thank you.